Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. Today our special guest is Miss Tracy Boucher Williams. She is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northwest Tennessee.
Thank you for having me.
What a pleasure to have you on the program.
I appreciate that.
And I am shocked in our pre-talks before this that you have not been on this program before.
No, I've been here a couple of times just doing some different things for the radio, but never the interview like this.
Then it's time to have you here.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, because you just celebrated a big anniversary, didn't you?
I did. We celebrated 20 years of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northwest Tennessee at the Union City Club. On November 20th, 2004, we opened our doors for the first time.
And you've been here for the duration.
Absolutely. I was actually the part-time art director when this all started. And everybody says, oh, you're so artistic, you can do this. And I say, nope, I'm not. I just know how to make a mess. So I got in there and made a mess every day. And I went from art director to within the year, I was that club director. And when Ron Green, our former CEO, moved on to other things, I was moved up to that CEO position.
Well, that is fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank
Tracy.
you very much.
That's very nice. As we do each week on our program, we like to let our guests introduce themselves. You've done some of that, but I know you have plenty of more to tell those listening today. So, Tracy, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Just a little background on me. We actually moved here from Jackson, Michigan back in '83 when that Goodyear plant there shut down. The fun story is that my uncle actually accepted this transfer a little bit before Dad did, and he said, hey, let's go where we've got some family. So we followed him to Union City, Tennessee. So I do have some cousins here. We're all big University of Michigan fans. Go Blue. They beat the Ohio State the other day, so that was big for us. But yeah, we moved here in '83. I was attending Dixie School back in the day, so that was different. And then on to Lake Road. I'm a graduate of Obion County Central High School. After high school, I went to Dyersburg State and played a little ball, and then went to the U.S. Navy. After 2 years in the Navy, I did 6 years of Tennessee National Guard, which is my fun fact that I can always say that I served in 2 different branches of the military. So that was fun. And then just moving along with that, I went to nursing school. I'm a graduate of Bethel University. My degree is in organizational management. I'm married to my husband, Brian Williams, and we have 4 kids, Chris, Jacob, Bree, and Caden. And I have 4 wonderful grandchildren, ages from 10 years old all the way down to 7 months old.
Well, Tracy, you've had a full life so far.
Absolutely. Lots of fun, lots of keeping busy, lots of ball games and running with kids. So it's been great.
No grass has grown under your feet.
Absolutely.
You've heard that statement before, haven't you? Well, tell me, your move from Michigan to here, I know you said you were a small child.
Yeah, I was 12.
You was 12. Mm-hmm. How has Northwest Tennessee been for you?
It's been great. I laugh sometimes to where people will say, oh, you're from Michigan, or if I'm off at a training, they'll say, because I always have Michigan things with me, and I'll say, well, I'm from Union City, Tennessee, but I'm really from Jackson, Michigan, because you got to keep that in there. A lot of people say, well, I was born here, I was born there. We do still have a lot of family in Michigan. My grandpa actually passed away just 2 years ago, and he was 93, and we would still try to get up there every year to see him. And so we have aunts and uncles that still live there. So Michigan is still home with me, too. If you come in my office at Boys and Girls Club, lots of Michigan memorabilia in there. So you definitely know who my favorite team is, too.
Well, that's fantastic. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I do love to represent Obion County as well.
Absolutely. And you got the plug in of Michigan beating Ohio State. Of course, we have a employee that works here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting who just bleeds Ohio State.
Well, I am so sorry for them. So sorry for them.
Mr. Gary Capers, the great guy.
Yeah. I have a board member that jokes when he comes in my office and he'll say, you know what you really need? You need a big scarlet red O, a big O. I'm like, oh, absolutely not. I said, and usually I say, I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. So,
well, again, congratulations on your 20 years with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northwest Tennessee and being there from the get-go of the whole operation. But I'm going to play something. You're not aware of this. I'm going to pull this one on you. I'm going to play something that took place recently here in Union City at the Chamber of Commerce banquet. And this is Chamber of Commerce President Clint Joyner making a special introduction to Tracy.
The last award of the evening is the President's Award. It's a unique one in nature as it embodies a role in our community that few have the talents to fill. This year's recipient of the Chamber's President's Award has served as a leader, a mentor, a mother, grandmother, aunt, educator, disciplinarian, and a friend to over 5,500 community youth since starting in her employment with the Boys and Girls Club. She's been there since day number one, and yesterday marked the club's 20th anniversary since opening its doors. She now serves as the organization's CEO and presides over 2 clubs, one in Union City and one in Humboldt, serving in excess of 230 children per day. I'm proud to announce this year's President's Award recipient is Tracy Boucher Williams.
So, that was quite a surprise, wasn't it?
It really was. I was there because we had gotten our Union City Kiwanis table, and we were just all kind of hanging out with Kiwanis members, and that was, a blast in itself. And then when Clint started talking, I wasn't for sure what the award was, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. There's a President's Award, and all of a sudden I hear, serving youth and this and that, and I said, are you kidding me? That I was so surprised and blown away, and I always like to say that I'm never at a lack for words. And I really got up there, and I think I stumbled quite a bit because I was just so taken back by the award.
That was the last award presented at the banquet, an award given by Clint as the Chamber President. So, very well deserved.
Thank you.
And I will have to rebut what you just said. Your speech was very good, on spot, and congratulations to you on that. But I wanted everyone to hear that wasn't able to be a part of the program that night.
Well, that's great, and my husband can hear it now, and my mom and dad, because they weren't there for the event. 'Cause like I said, I was there with Kiwanis. I didn't have a clue about it, and I said, well, nobody's even here from my family to hear that. So I'm glad that you were able to record that.
It's always good to be surprised like that.
Yeah.
We have many things to talk about here today concerning the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northwest Tennessee. Again, we are speaking with Miss Tracy Boucher Williams. She is the CEO of the organization. And first of all, let's talk about your mission statement there at the clubs.
Okay, yeah, our mission statement is to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. With that, for a long time, it was that we wanted them to realize their full potential. Well, we're past that. We want them to reach it now. So we're really trying to give them the opportunities and all the chances that anybody else could have.
That's great. And the history, we've just said that it's 20 years old. How did this come together to start this club?
Well, about 2 years before the club actually opened, there was just a group of concerned citizens that said, hey, there's no place for these kids to go in Union City. And they looked at some different buildings, and they knew that Coach Dan Boykin, back in the day, had opened up that Miles Gymnasium in the summertime to let kids come in, and thought that would be a great place, because a lot of times the Boys and Girls Clubs, if you go and visit, they're in those neighborhoods that need you the most. And it's where most of those at-risk youth are at. We're within walking distance, and that's always a big plus for us. So that's when we decided to start working towards that. And like I said earlier, I interviewed as the art director just because I wanted to get in and be a part of the organization.
So just asking you, what really is a Boys and Girls Club?
It's an after-school program, but also we serve summer programs, which we have them from 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. But it's just a place for these kids to go between the hours of 3 and 6, because if you look at a lot of statistics, those are the most dangerous times for youth. They're getting out of school, they're running in the streets, some of them are going home to empty houses, some of them are having to go home and care for younger siblings. So the Boys and Girls Club is that safe place for them to come every afternoon. They get a free meal every day from Trudy's Kids Cafe. We do lots of homework help and tutoring, which we call our Power Hour program. Monday through Thursday, that first hour, they are hitting the books. They are getting that help if they have school projects. They bring laptops from school, but we also have access to, we have Wi-Fi, we have iPads if needed. So we're giving those kids that step up that they may need. When they go home, mom may not have time to sit down at the kitchen table and help do homework. So we're there as that bridge to help with the parents to get that stuff done. After that, the kids they stay broken up into their age groups, and we have lots of leadership and character building. We do physical fitness. We call the program Smart Moves, to where we're learning about peer pressures and not giving in to such things. We have drugs and alcohol prevention programs, and a new program that we're working on and hopefully kicking off at the first of the year is a workforce development program that is really going to boost our teens.
With all that you mentioned there, Tracy, you must have quite a staff.
I'd like to think so. We are nonprofit, so we have to be very frugal with our money and the budget wise. And right now, I have AJ Morris, who is my club director, and he handles the day-to-day operations when I am gone to the Humboldt Club or different meetings and conferences. But he's in there helping me coordinate and get everybody where they need to be and having successful programs ran. But all of my other staff are part-time.
A few years ago, I was invited to an event. I think, I tell you, Miss Judy Barker was state representative then. They were presenting some laptops or something to the club, so I came over. And I remember it was about the time that school was letting out, regular school. Those school buses stop right there in front of the Boys and Girls Clubs, and they get right off their school bus and come into your place.
Yeah,
is that right?
Absolutely. We have a really good relationship with the Union City school system. During the school year, we are pretty much 99% Union City school system serving. But during the summertime, we do have those county kids. We have kids from Fulton and Hickman that will come over. A lot of times, it's those kids that need a place to go. Sometimes it is because mama's working all day, and I don't like to call it child care because we're not a daycare, but we do provide services for those children that need us the most to become those productive citizens. But what I was saying is that we do have a great relationship with the Union City school system to where their kids actually are bused to us every afternoon. And then in the evenings, the parents have to come and pick up those kids by 6 o'clock, which is great because if you think about it, if parents are at work and those kids are getting out of school, if they go home, they'd have to walk and different things. So we really get them bused there, and it helps so much.
And they have the opportunity to do their homework there. Is that correct?
Yes, they can
get
do
the
homework.
Tutoring?
Absolutely, yes. They call it that Power Hour program.
Yes, that's a big benefit. What are your actual hours of operation?
As far as the kids, I'm there at the club every day in between 8 a.m. all the way up to 6:30, 7 p.m. at night. But we serve kids for the after-school program is from 3 in the afternoon until 6. And like I said earlier, in our summer program, we serve kids from 7 a.m. to 5.
Is this open to anyone, or are you limited to a certain number that you can take care of?
Well, we always have to think about the space that we have because we have 3 classrooms and a gymnasium. But at the same time, pre-COVID, we'd pack 150, 160 kids in there every day, and we just had a blast. Where now those numbers are a little bit smaller, but we serve any kids between the ages of 6 and 18, and they don't have to live in Obion County. And I tell parents they don't have to come every day; they don't have to stay the whole day. And once you're signed up for that school year, you're signed up for the entire time.
You said to 18. Do you have many teenagers who take part in this?
I did a few years back, and one of the big boosts that Boys and Girls Clubs of America would always say, hey, get your teens involved in other activities outside of school. Get them part-time jobs. Get them doing things. To where we found those kids that we were able to groom them into being productive and finding part-time jobs. We've got kids in the band and playing all the sports. Well, now Boys and Girls Clubs of America are saying, hey, you're not reporting that you have any teens. Where are your teens at? And we're like, you told us to find them things to do. So now we're really doing a big push this year. It's called the Year of the Teen. And we're really trying to get those teenagers back in our programs. And so for the most part with the Union City Club, we've got 15 and 16-year-olds. That's pretty much where it caps at. And it's the same with Humboldt, but we are really pushing to get those kids back in there.
So you are able to help with some job placement then?
Yes. That's what hopefully with this workforce development program, it's going to do a lot with service learning as well, to where those kids can kind of get out in the community and see what else is out there. And it will help them kind of mold what they can see as far as what they want to do with their lives.
Well, that is great. And to do all that you do, it takes funding, I'm sure.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
We have a couple of grants as far as from the state. We have an educational grant that helps a lot with me being able to hold my staffing accountable. And everything now is reimbursement. So you've got to have that money up front to spend it, and then you get it back. But we do have a couple of grants. But for the major portion of our budget, we rely on those corporate and individual donations.
And this community has been great with that, right?
Absolutely. Yes. We hold certain fundraisers. You don't want to be too fundraiser happy, but you don't want to always have your hand out asking individuals for that help. But we've had those businesses and absolutely those individuals that every year we can pick up the phone, we can go have a lunch, and we know that they're going to help support us.
And you operate 12 months out of the year also?
Yes.
Right. Even during the summer months you were talking about.
Yeah. The running joke is always within the movement itself is if you can survive a summer program, you're good to go. Because the summer programs are long and hot, but they're well worth it.
Is your attendance higher in the summer or smaller?
Oh, it's much higher.
It's much higher.
Because if you look, you've got all those county schools. The kids are coming in for that. And we do lots of field trips. We're going skating and bowling. We're going to Reelfoot Lake and Discovery Park to where the parents, I tell my staff a lot of times, they're going, we're always going on field trips. We're always doing this. The Boys and Girls Club may be their vacation for the summer. A lot of the kids we have don't have the Disney World trips. They don't get to go to Six Flags and different things. What we give them is what they get. So we want to make sure that they're learning, that they're really growing, but at the same time they're having a really good experience.
And maybe some of the things you're doing, some kids may not otherwise get to do. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
correct?
It's all about the opportunities. They need the recognition of things that they're doing to be better people, but also given the opportunities. One thing we did years ago, we used to take the kids to the UT Martin Rodeo. And for the most part, the kids, I had a couple of kids that said, I would never come to the rodeo if y'all wouldn't have took me. And they had the best time. So tomorrow night, we're actually walking in the parade. So that's something different. We usually throw them on the back of a truck or a trailer. I say throw, not literally. And but they don't want us throwing candy. So this year we're going to walk in the parade and all the kids are going to have bags and we get to hand candy out. So that's something we're doing the parade tomorrow night. Hopefully it won't be too chilly, but we're looking forward to that too.
And that's bound to break, I guess, some boredom that could take place by just coming and sitting inside the building every day, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and we share the building with the Miles Head Start, Early Head Start program, so we're really lucky that they have a huge playground in the back that they help keep everything up with, and so we do have a huge playground, and so we try to do lots of different activities with the kids.
Again, today we are speaking with Miss Tracy Boucher Williams. She is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northwest Tennessee. And Tracy, in your 20 years there, you've seen a lot of children come through this program and move on. Do you still maintain contact with a lot of those?
I do. One fun thing that I see with a lot of them is that I'm having kids of the kids that I used to have, to where they're coming in going, hey, I know your mama. Or one of the kids will come in and say, Mama, this is where we sit for this. And they'll say, I know that. I was here before you were. So that's kind of cool to see that and different things. But as far as, success stories and kids that I've seen come and go, we have a huge college wall at the Boys and Girls Club. And it's a way for our kids to come in there and kind of see, that within, if there's like a UT pennant, they'll say, oh, wow. And I have listed up there any club kids that either attended the University of Tennessee or graduated. So that way, if they've got interest in attending or anything like that, I can put them in touch with that person. Mm-hmm. But just with that, I like to always brag on Javante Moffitt. He was a club kid. He moved off, came back. And so, we're always so proud of him and his success within the NFL and just being a great guy and, graduated from MTSU. I always like to brag on Joe Wiggins. Growing up, he didn't always have the best home life, and he and his brother and sister raised themselves a lot of times. Not to say that his dad wasn't a really fun and great guy. I always considered him a friend. But Joe has kind of picked himself up, and he's training kids throughout Northwest Tennessee with basketball and really being a great mentor to them. So I always like to brag on Joe. Dante Simpson recently graduated from Avila University in Kansas City, Missouri. He played basketball at Union City and did that. And he's coaching and doing different things in Kansas City. Keely Reeves, if y'all know Keely, she was a pistol at the Boys and Girls Club, and I actually have her son there now. And she always asks me if he's as rough as she was. No, she was, she was something else. But she actually just passed her NCLEX to be a registered nurse. So we've got so many kids that, grown-ups that are doing amazing things, and I love to hear them say that the Boys and Girls Club made a positive impact on their lives.
And you probably get that from a lot of people who say, I thank you for what you did.
Yeah, and that makes me feel good.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, and I try to tell the staff that, we have a lot of kids that come in there that have a lot of problems. We see lots of personalities, I like to say. You know, we have kids that are diagnosed with certain things. Social emotional wellness is huge with these kids. We always say COVID really did a number on some of them and their mental health. So there's lots of programs through the Boys and Girls Clubs that we try to offer to give those kids the necessary tools to be able to handle different feelings that they're having.
I guess you try to love them all then.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's hard, but hey, at the end of the day, we know it's worth it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we talked earlier about the funding, but you have a big event that's coming up here real soon that helps you out at the club, and I'm going to let you tell about that.
Yeah, December 27th, we're having our Boys and Girls Clubs Gala. It's our second year for this event. Last year was a huge success. And what we do that night is we just kind of celebrate the Boys and Girls Club. We'll have a cash bar and also heavy hors d'oeuvres for the evening. The time for the event is 8 o'clock until midnight. We've got a live DJ that's hopefully going to get us up dancing and having a great time. You'll get to hear from some of our alum and the positive impact that they've made on others in their lives. Meet a couple of our board members and just come out and have a great time.
Yes. Is this a come and go event, Tracy? Or
Yeah.
do you come and stay the whole time? Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do. The tables are $1,000 a table, and we have plenty of sponsors that want to come out, and they bring their businesses and they bring their coworkers and different things like that. I always tell people, I say, hey, the table seats 8, but we can put 12, 15 chairs. If you want to buy a table, come on out. And individual tickets are $100. But it's just a great event to be able to come out and you get to mix and mingle. And it's kind of in that you're kind of letting down after Christmas. Like, okay, everybody's exhaling a little bit, but you're also looking for something to do to get out of the house and different things. So we're looking forward to really having a lot of fun.
And you said last year was a big success, wasn't it?
We did. We made over $24,000, which is huge for us. And it's all going back towards that programming and the different things that we offer the kids.
Again, this is on December the 27th. If someone wants a ticket or table, what do they need to do?
You can contact me or any of my board members, but you can also email me at tboucher@bgcnwtn.org. You can call my cell, or you can call the Boys and Girls Club at 731-885-0883. A lot of times people say, I can't believe you're going to give your cell number out. Hey, if you don't have it, the next person to you does. So everybody's got my number somehow.
They do now.
Yes.
For sure. And this is at Discovery Park of America. And so you're expecting a big crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raise some money. All about those kids.
Yeah. And another way you can also get in contact with me is we have a new website, and it's called thebgclubs.com. And you can click on there and you can learn more information as far as our Boys and Girls Club in Union City and also the one in Humboldt.
Well, tell me this, Tracy. It's almost Christmas time. What goes on at the Boys and Girls Clubs around Christmas time?
Well, we do lots of decorating. We let the kids do lots of ornaments and it's always the older kids that enjoy this, because a lot of times if you don't take an art class, you don't get to do lots of arts and crafts and different things. So the kids are decorating ornaments to hang on the tree. And one thing we try to do is we try to make sure that all of our kids have a great Christmas. And one way that we do that, our program is called Adopt a Fourth Child, because you think a lot of people have 3 kids. And you say, oh, well, while you're out shopping, will you adopt a 4th child? Will you pick up some gifts for them? So what we ask you to do is, if you'd like to sponsor a child for Christmas, if you would spend a minimum of $50, and some people spend $50, some people go crazy and spend a lot of money on our kids. They receive a wish list from our kids, and it's their shirt, pants, and shoe size, and 3 wishes of something they might want. Now, we have to kind of wrangle them in every now and then, because they'll put iPhones and laptops and different things, and that's when I cross it out and put remote control car or something. But we really try to let the people that are sponsoring, they see their wishes and they can kind of see what kind of kid they are. I also let them know if, hey, this one really needs a coat. Hey, we could really use some shoes, or you know what, maybe just a couple of toys would be great. But we just want to ensure that all of our kids have a Christmas that they deserve.
Oh, that is fantastic. Is that something that you've always done annually, or is this new, or what?
Annually. We've done it for 20 years now. And we have some parents that will come in beforehand and take the presents and go hide them, and they're actually what helps make their Christmas at home a little brighter too.
Wow. And I think you mentioned earlier in the program, but you go back and forth Union City to Humboldt, right?
Yep.
What do you see for the future of the Boys and Girls Clubs with these 2 organizations? And is there ever any chance of expansion even further?
Yeah. One thing that you look at with Boys and Girls Clubs of America is that there's lots of organizations everywhere, but they don't like you to open any more standalone clubs by themselves. So anytime there's any communities in this area that want to open a club, they contact me because we are Northwest Tennessee. And Milan is very early in talks, but they are really looking forward to, they want to open a facility in their area. They're going to utilize the old Pope Clark High School in Milan, and we're going to share it and make it also a senior citizen center. So they're actually getting some stuff together to start fundraising for that. So maybe in the next couple of years we can serve in Milan also.
So will you be over that one also then?
I will. So Humboldt opened theirs in 2011. And then also, if Milan comes on board, we'll have 3 clubs that we're serving youth within Northwest Tennessee.
Do you have a big participation at the Humboldt Club?
We do. We're about the same as far as serving kids. We serve about 125, 130 kids at each club per day. And with us also having the same populations in those areas, we do serve about the same amount. And as far as budgeting and different things, we're very similar.
Now, when you fundraise, such as your gala, does that cover both locations, or do you have to fundraise in the Humboldt area?
Yeah, fundraising is completely separate.
It's separate.
Humboldt they have their annual golf tournament, and they also have their Bird and Burger event, which are their 2 major fundraisers. Whereas the Unicity Club, we have our gala, and we also have a trivia night that we have in the spring.
Yeah. And you mentioned possibly in Milan. Do you see a need for a club there?
Yeah. We say that a lot of times with Milan, our only hiccup right now is that they do have a YMCA, but a lot of the kids that we're trying to serve may not be able to afford the YMCA, may not have transportation to the Y, to where we're serving those at-risk youth that are at home or just running around and doing different things, that the buses can bring them from the school system over to the facility.
Are you always talking with your staff members or thinking when you're driving down the road of something new you can add to the clubs for the coming years, so I guess to keep everything from being stale? Yeah.
A lot of times you're always trying to think of, hey, what can we do to get that edge up, to be like, what are these kids not getting that they need? What are other clubs doing? They're like, wow, that's amazing. We need to make sure our kids are doing that. So I always like to say, I don't steal things, I just borrow ideas. So yeah, we're always trying to be creative and figure out new ways to make that positive impact.
So do you, as you said, do you network with other clubs in other places to get ideas, and maybe even share something that you're doing with them?
Oh yeah, we have lots of meetings that cover grants and different things that we have to go to, so we always hear other great success stories and program stories. But we also have conferences regionally, and just even at the state level. We even have a Facebook page with just the CEOs that we're sharing and great ideas.
What would you like to have at the Union City and Humboldt clubs that you currently don't?
I would love to have a music studio. These kids love to come in, they love to sing, they love to record themselves, and not even maybe just music, but a huge studio with cameras and different things to where they can really learn some new stuff as far as graphic design. And so yeah, and it's way above my level of expertise, but that would be something awesome for us to have.
But there's no doubt you probably have the talent there, don't you?
Oh yes. I want to go ahead and mention our board members. Within Humboldt and Union City, we have advisory boards, but we have a huge corporate board that comes in and really helps us with our policies and procedures. Right now, Shane Dotson is our board chair, and he's been with us the 20 years, as well as Clint Joyner and Dan Boykin. Tyler Barker, who is with First Citizens, is our incoming chair. So we're excited to have him come on board with us, which he's been with the club, but he will be representing us with the Union City Club. Also, I want to make sure everybody knows that anytime they want to get more involved with the Boys and Girls Club, learn a little bit more, of course, we've got the website, we've got a Facebook page, but you can always contact me, stop by the club and ask for a tour. The kids love to show you around and do different things, and also, as well as donate. We're always welcoming donations. Nothing's too big or too small, to where if you want to donate $20 a month, hey, that would be awesome, because every little penny adds up.
Tracy, that's just wonderful, and there's so many people that have appreciation for what you do, and you've done an outstanding job.
Thank you. It's easy to do when you love it.
Yes. So don't cut out on us. You stay here now.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I always say they're going to have to roll me out, so I'm not going anywhere.
That's what they want to hear. Our special guest today has been Miss Tracy Boucher Williams. She is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northwest Tennessee. Again, thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
And that concludes this week's 30 Minutes program. We hope you enjoy today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.